One loads up. Chance, thoughts on the prediction? I know you said to start the day, you know, there wouldn't be any upsets, but I have to ask you your predictions. I have to.
I still think Optic. I think Optic has been the better team in this game overall the entire year. Yes, they make a handful of changes, but it's the same roster, right? You have certain things you expect the team is going to be capable of. They played Hacienda hundreds of times at this point as a team. And at this point in time, Ben, I still have faith.
Well, one thing LG's going to have to do early is just silence.
What's up, boys? Today I want to talk about why Optic didn't win a map at CWL Miami. I sort of want to start doing some of these analysis videos of pro matches or pro VODs and that kind of stuff. So this is going to be the first one. Just sort of going over Optic and, for example, why they went up by 80 in the hardpoint and then couldn't score. I'm just going to go through a few distinct moments from every map. I'm going to go super in depth into the control because I think that one was really important. And then I'm going to do the search last just because the search isn't as important in my opinion. Optic hasn't ever really been insane at search anyway, and LG was really good at Hacienda search. But I'm going to go over it last just so you want to see that, but I'm just going to do the hardpoint, then the control, and then the search last. So we're going to hop right into the hardpoint, and off the break, Optic, I'm not going to say they got lucky because it could have easily been TP telling Karma to go bottom fire to counter Slack's grapple, but they get a kill on Slack who would normally grapple to top hall and help them a lot. But once Karma gets that kill, it's really easy for Optic to win the break because LG honestly isn't sure what to do. You can sort of see them just sort of running around aimlessly. They're not entirely sure what to do. So Optic wins that break right off the rip. And once you get a clean wipe on this hill, it's pretty easy to push out and get map control. And Optic pretty much just gets a full 60 on this first hill. And then, or at least it's contested a little bit, but they get most of the time on the first hill and most of the time on the second hill. And if you notice, they do this also while Crimsix has an AR out. Well, he has a ICR out, And you'll see, for example, on the gridlock control, why Crimsix with the ICR is really important and why I don't think they should have changed roles. But this next part right here on Fences Hill is when I think Optic lost the game. They're up by 45 points right now, and if you look at the time, there's about 20 seconds left. And I'm just going to zoom in on the minimap. There's less than 20 seconds on the hill, and you see where New Hill is, and watch Optic off spawn continuously push the old hill. Even number 9, who spawns up, goes bottom fire to push old instead of, or even cut off mid, I guess, to be fair, but they don't have numbers on New Hill. And when the hill flips, you'll see LG spawn up Lambo, and they end up being able to get to the hill. You can even watch number 8, Karma, just, I don't even know what he's doing. I'll bring it back up again, but he sort of just runs back and forth between looking bottom office and looking at the old hill. I think they were trying to kill Formal off of streaks, but I don't really think killing someone off streaks is worth giving up the entire rotation to the new hill. I think Optic more just assumed that LG would stack old to ensure streaks and so that they would be able to win the rotation anyway, but it's just sort of a bad in-game call because you can set up at new, and if you use the streaks to break, great, he burns streaks. Killing him off streaks and giving up the rotation is kind of a risk, especially since Formal could have easily already had streaks. He only died, or he only got to the new hill 30 off, so he could have already had them. And it was unfortunate that Optic didn't clutch up streaks on Lambo Hill as well. They had 2 guys that were 200 off or less, and they couldn't clutch them up. That would have been pretty big for this map as well. But pretty much for the rest of the map, Optic doesn't really rotate. And I'll show a second scenario where, again, on that Fences Hill, Optic just does not rotate properly to Rock Hill. Rock Hill can be a money hill for a lot of teams, especially when you get Lambo and Boathouse side pushed out. And Optic just, I don't even know what they were doing. They just were not pushing out. You'll see at the end here, obviously LG's at 200, but you'd think after not getting any points for about 3 or 4 minutes, Optic might actually want to rotate here, but you'll see less than 20 seconds. Literally, all of Optic spawns up well at 15 seconds, and they all hit the hill. Not one person goes around to get Lambo side. They all just hit the hill, and I honestly, this is probably just desperation at this point, so I'm not going to take it as too much of a deal, but they really did. They just weren't rotating. LG, after they went down by 80, set up at new, got a good rotation, and Optic just didn't do that, and that's why they lost. I'd also just like to bring up the scoreboard real quick. Obviously, scoreboard and kills aren't everything, but when you have TJ dying 26 times, look at the deaths of the rest of the team. This is sort of a consistent trend. You'll see it in the control as well. And I'm going to go over the series against 100 Thieves in a separate video because this video is going to be pretty long as it is. But he just he needs to get better with the grapple, to be honest. Like, you can't have your main Maddox running grapple this late into the game, and Scump's decent with War Machine, so TJ just needs to learn how to use the grapple, whether it's watching VODs of Dylan or something like that. He just needs to figure out how to do better with it. I feel like he just tries to play at a different pace than his teammates. Instead of like waiting for them and then baiting with the grapple, he just flies in like too far in front of them and just, I don't know. He plays like a little too solo with it, whereas you should only be doing that after you've gotten like a 5 wipe and then to push out spawns. He does it like before they even broke in a hill. I don't know. And then obviously there's Crimsix, who's 8-21. Finishes the map 8-22. I think this is right before the map was going to end. But yeah, you just can't be playing like that. In Crimsix's defense, he did get like 4 of his kills with the ICR. I just don't think he's a good Maddox player. Like, you can't really blame him for the fact that his teammates can adapt to new roles. Like, Crimsix was a pretty good ICR player, and you'll see that in the gridlock control. He literally almost hard carried them to the win, like almost single-handedly, using an ICR because he pulled a second ICR in that for the whole map. And Karma, I don't know. Like, I feel like if you switch Crimsix and Karma and then leave the rest of the roles, Optic will be okay if TJ figures out how to use the grapple. But Crimsix needs to be main ICR. Like, that's it. He can't use the Maddox. Like, he's been using the ICR for like 8 or 9 months. Like, I don't really understand that switch, in my opinion. And so I'm not really going to blame him for going this nag when it's just him in a new role, because his teammates couldn't adapt. So Crimsix obviously did trash, and that's a big contributing factor to why they lost, but he's also in an unfamiliar role, and I don't know. TJ needs to die less and just get better with the grapple, and I think Crimsix and Karma need to switch roles. But that's pretty much it for the hard point. Optic just weren't rotating properly. They weren't really getting into the proper positions to even allow them to get any points. They were just constantly hitting ult and constantly trying to hit scrap, when if they just set up on a rotation, would have been significantly easier. And obviously win some gunfights too. That would have helped. And there's a few scenarios in the control where it's just like, yeah, if they won some gunfights, that would have helped as well. But moving over to the control, we're just going to look right off the break here, because Optic has a really good break here. This is just another sort of a testament to TP, for example. Like, this is a really smart break. Maybe he didn't come up with it, but my team honestly did. Like, send 3 through mid and pinch B. You literally cut off the A rotation to B. And if you kill one of them, like, you're going to isolate those guys at B, and you can just pinch from the front end back, and it's really hard for the other team to get there in time. And Optic just gets full map control of B, and LG's pretty much forced to give it up. The funny thing is most teams would never give up B, but LG ends up holding A really well. And I'm just going to show a quick clip of Crimsix with the ICR too, because he starts off 4-1 with the ICR, and then when he has to switch to a Maddox for the rest of this map, or the rest of this round, because they're trying to break A. A lot of teams will pull out second SOGs and drop the second ICR when they're trying to break into A, just because it's more close quarters gunfights. Makes sense. So yeah, he doesn't do too well for the rest of the round. I'm just going to sort of show this clip of the minimap as well, where Optic literally just, they single file into LG for like 30 straight seconds. And right before this, I'm going to double check, but Optic has like they had like a 5 kill lead, and then you're just going to see this kill lead pretty much diminish. Just like they keep single filing, they don't really set up like a full 5 hit when they have numbers. Like, they could have even sent more people to flank and down mid just to get kills. Like, all you need is a few kills, you can spawn trap some people, but they just keep face smashing A, and they even get in, and then Bracken Formal like 2v4 them. But yeah, they just, I don't know. Number 7 Slacked gets a huge 2-piece as well. Yeah, I really don't know why Optic just single filed like that, and that pretty much threw the round. And TJ also finishes the round with 9 deaths in one round, which is crazy to me. Optic just, I felt like they thought because they had a big kill lead, they could just sort of flood in and throw lives just to bring LG's lives down. But when LG's just team shooting you as you cross, it's really hard to break into that A site. Like, they need to try to take it from different angles, and I really don't know why they just flooded in like that. Here I want to talk about something separate too. Like, on the top left of the minimap, or top left of the minimap, top right of the map itself, you'll see that a lot of pro teams send someone near this house to block the house spawn. once the attacking team starts spawning at the house or even near back alley, it's really hard to defend B because you're usually spawning pretty far back unless they have someone blocking the back spawn, and then you'll spawn 18 or bending. But you'll see Karma kind of makes a bad play. Crimson sort of going off in the spawn, and then I believe you have TJ who's up top as well, sort of cross shooting. TJ dies, and then Crim obviously realizes that he's the last one up, but there's not much he can do when he's pushed up like this. And then you'll see number 4 Karma pushes into alley, and all he really needs to do is he could have even sat in a corner near Milk Truck, pushed up, and he wouldn't have given them the Koi spawn, but he would have given them sort of a spawn right here. But instead, he pushes up, and you'll see him kill Formal. And I want you to watch where Formal spawns literally a second and a half later after Karma dies. He kills Formal, and then Karma dies, and then watch. Formal literally spawns up right here, and LG's ready to push front B. Like, you really need to just do a better job of blocking spawns in this scenario, especially on B side of the map. When you force them to funnel around the back, it's a lot easier to get kills, because every single time one of them dies over by hole in the wall or even back bending, they're spawning all the way out, and you're spawning close to the hill. You're even spawning 18. And I understand Optic's down by 2 kills here, but I really don't know why. Like, Karma just needs to stay there and block the spawn, to be honest. And I'll show a clip from LG the next round, which LG does end up losing, but Slack does a really good job of just, look, he doesn't shoot, he just stays patient, he's blocking that spawn because he knows that, like, he's just pretty much trying to funnel Optic into their war machines, into their lightning strikes. It obviously doesn't work out. And then Slacked, once Skies is blocking that, or getting close to blocking that, I'm sure he called out block house spawn or something like that, he goes for a pinch on Koi and tries to grab slam. I don't know if Optic saw him cross or something, because you literally see 3 of them turn around towards the back door. It might have been because Skies called in his Hellstorm at sort of a bad time. But I understand the play. Like, Skies calls in his Hellstorm, gets him off hill, and then Slack's going to run in and grab slam. Slack literally would have got full streaks, and LG probably would have won 3-0 if Slack's grab slam goes through here. But I believe it's Dash. He makes a big play and shot punches him out of it. But then Skies right here knows that he wasn't blocking the spawn, so he literally pre-aims towards back tree and literally gets a freaking insane 2-piece where he snaps on Scump, and then you're just going to see him climb into the house, and he just sits there and pretty much blocks the spawn because he knows they're going to be spawning Koi. Now, for the rest of this round, Crimson sort of just goes like hard carry mode. You'll see on the scoreboard he's 17-9 right now, and no one else on Optic has more than 10 or 11 kills. Yeah, Crimsix just went absolutely huge this round, and pretty much for the rest of the game, he was just going off. I think he just kept the ICR out for the whole game. And that's pretty much what Optic needs to do. They need Crimsix on the ICR because he knows how to play that. He doesn't know how to play the Maddox, and whether he can figure that out before Champs in 3 weeks, I don't know. But I really think that they should just switch Karma and Crimsix again. But yeah, Optic ends up winning this round. Crimsix is literally snapping on people with the ICR. He gets really close to another set of streaks. But yeah, this is sort of the start of what I thought was going to be a comeback. I really thought Optic could have came back after this. But TJ and Dashy, whether it was a miscommunication or a dumb play, sort of just throw away their utility in a later round. So in this next round, you'll see Optic is up 12-9, or 12-8 even. And you'll see Dashy has popped Tempest already. Like, if you look at the top left, his Tempest meters are literally going down. They've popped Tempest. They're up by 4 lives. LG doesn't even have a tick on B yet. And TJ decides to just sprint out and grab slam. Like, I don't get it. You'll see in the last round, there's so many opportunities where he could have used his grab slam that would have helped them win the offense. And he just decides to throw it away on a defense. Like, he doesn't pop it there, and they still probably get all 5 of those kills, and it's fine. And even worst case scenario, you wait for LG to even get into the hill. They don't even have a tick yet. You can wait for them to get into the hill and then grab slam. But when your team's getting all the kills, you can't just throw a specialist like that, especially grab slam, which is huge for breaking into control points. So I really don't know why TJ did that. You'll see the end of this game. Like, Optic could have literally got in with grab slam. Like Optic gets some kills here, and if they grab slam, it would have been significantly easier to hold him off. Obviously Skies has a really big Tempest, and he downs TJ there. But if TJ gets in, there were still 5 members of Optic up, 4 members of Optic. If TJ had Grav, game still could have been won here. Or he could have even used it earlier in the map and they would have had a kill lead earlier in the round. But TJ wasting Grav and Optic throwing that first round pretty much was the reason why they lost that control. When you have, I think they had an 8 kill lead, they were up like 30-22 or 29-21 in the first round on an offense, and all you need to do is take A, and they just face mash the front of it and through lives. Like you can literally go around and spawn kill. Obviously time is an issue, but I just don't know why Optic threw so many lives like that. And then TJ throwing away his grab, it was most likely a miscommunication. Either Dashy didn't call out that he had popped Tempest, or TJ just blatantly went out and grabbed, or he didn't hear him or something. But you cannot burn 2 specials like that in 1 round. Now I'm going to talk about the Search and Destroy. I think the respawns were the biggest issue. Hacienda Search and Destroy was LG's pick. It was their map pick, so Optic's best search and destroys are frequency and payload, so I'm sort of forgiving that loss, but losing your control pick and your hardpoint pick, like Optic was able to pick the first hardpoint and the control. They picked 1-3-5 because they were the better seeded team. You cannot be losing both of those, especially in the fashion that you lost the first map. Third map, you lose 1 round, you did throw a round, it's whatever, but you cannot lose your hardpoint pick by that much. Like, that was honestly just embarrassing, and it was because they just weren't willing to rotate. I honestly think that Optic a lot of the time gets bailed out because of gun skill, but I don't think they grind the game like they once did compared to guys like Skies or Brack, and I think it really shows. Like, Dashy's the only one that really keeps up in gun skill with any of these top teams, and if Optic isn't going to play the game correctly, they're going to get punished. Alright, so lastly, I'm just going to quickly go over the S&D, just a few things I noticed. I'm not going to take too much into account because this is LG's pick. It's probably one of their best search maps. There's just little things like with Optic's communication. You're going to see TJ just randomly run back to A instead of sticking with his team, and he just gets caught out. Like, I know it's so that he can spot the rotation to A, but you just got to be decisive. Like, someone should know, like, I'm staying here. I'm the one that's going to hold the rotation. Like, you can't have, like, indecisiveness like that against a good team on their map. It's just not going to work out. You literally watch TJ run back with his team and be like, oh wait, I should be watching it. Whether that's someone else said they were going to watch it, they got called off. It just seems like likely after the first map their comms are a little flustered and they weren't really sure why they lost their hardpoint pick by that much and got smoked that bad. But then you're also going to see him go top open here. And I'm assuming Scump was supposed to be watching the rock cross to open, but he just tagged him up and didn't get a full kill, and they get blooded again. They just kept giving up first bloods and playing separate. And yeah, I mean, the first 2 rounds were pretty much chalked after a first blood. LG just played numbers and retook. I'm going to show the next 2 rounds, the 3rd round and then the 4th round. Optic actually plays really well, and I'm surprised they didn't play like this for the rest of the game, but they sort of just went back to what they did the first 3 rounds, even after winning the 4th round. So again, Optic's playing pretty spread. They send 2 guys open, and TJ just gets caught out. Whether he got baited by the other teammate that just didn't help him team shoot, or whatever it was, you just can't have that. And despite this, Optic still gets it down to a 3v3, but LG just plays numbers better than they do, and Optic gets caught out and lose the round anyway. Now lastly, the last round. Let's see what happens. Optic's just going to 5-hit A and actually team shoot. We'll see what happens. Obviously, you can't 5-hit every round, but like when you're Optic and you have gun skill, like you can use the gun skill to bail you out sometimes. I obviously said that it doesn't always work out in the hard point, but Optic still has really good gun skill. You saw what TJ just did there. He literally turned on freaking Skies, I think it was. Optic just needed to play numbers better in the search. But again, like I said, the search, it is what it is. It's LG's best search map. They really just needed to win the respawns. That's pretty much it for this video. I know this ended up being a really long video, like 20 minutes. Tell me if you like this in the future, if you want it to be shorter, if you want it to be longer. I'm going to include the 100 Thieves one in a part 2. But I just sort of want to go over the mistakes Optic made. To conclude, TJ needs to get better with the grapple because they should not switch back, in my opinion. You need to have someone who at least runs the SOG part-time running your grapple. Crim needs to go back to main ICR, and Karma needs to just go to Maddox. He can run either Maddox Crash, I think would just be ideal, and then Crim just goes back to Recon ICR. But again, boys, don't forget to drop a like down below, subscribe if you are new here. That's it for this video, guys. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.